Hi everybody, welcome to my floss tube. My name is Doreen and this is Privies and Prims. And mostly I do punch needle and cross stitch. Lately I have been venturing into some other things that they're not new to me, but they're just things I haven't done in a while. So as my title says, we will talk about my mood of I can go years without wanting to do wool applique or make a primitive doll. I pretty much stay with the punch needle, and I've been counted cross stitching only since Christmas time, and I've stayed with that. And I might take a couple days off, but my mood for working with wool will change, and I get all gung ho about it, and it might last one day, and then I have something that's not finished, or like this time, it has lasted, I guess, probably about a week and I'm still going strong. So I don't know if you get in the moods like that, but my mood right now is to create, and not just punch needle and cross stitch, but several other things. So let's get on with that. And I appreciate everyone watching. So thanks to those that are new and thanks to those that are returning. You are all welcome here and I appreciate every one of you. So I did post a tutorial recently on some wool boxes, or they are paper mache boxes, and this one is not attached yet. And this is just covered with fabric. So look for that tutorial and you'll find it on my YouTube channel. And then most of the other ones, except for this one, are attached on the top. But then you would have a pin cushion, and then you would also have a box to keep your threads, your little scissors, your needles, whatever in. And I had put 10 of these in my Etsy shop, and there are, I believe, 5 left. So because I've sold five of them. So this is the fabric close-up. And this is one of the other ones. So this one, the pin cushion is larger, and this one is attached. And so this is attached to the top of the box. Now, some people had said that they would like to just have the box without the pin cushion. And I am going to make some of those and put them in my Etsy shop. I have cleaned out my Dollar Trees from these paper mache boxes. So I've actually decided to just order a case of them, and they will be squares and hearts and circles. So I'll have a variety, and I'm not going to do them all like this because I know not everybody will want one, and then I have inventory that just takes up space. But I am going to do probably about 6 of them, just covered with the fabric, and I'll put them in the Etsy shop and see how they go, and if they sell, then I will do some more. So that is tutorial that you need to look for. I can link it actually down below in the description box. And then today I just posted a tutorial for this bucket. This is my latest finish. I finished stitching this last night. The pattern design is by Not Forgotten Farm, Lori Brecklin from Not Forgotten Farm, and it's called Pumpkin Cottage. It is not available on her website. It is available in the files of Prim Stitcher Society on Facebook. So this is a painted bucket, and it started out, I don't have it in here. It started out as a galvanized bucket, and I'll show a picture here. And the tutorial that I just posted today, this video will actually post tomorrow, because I'm doing 3 videos right in a row here, and I'm going to space them out one each day. But this will have posted yesterday on how I painted the bucket and transformed it. So be looking for that. That is my latest finish. And again, this is Pumpkin Cottage by Lori Brecklin, and it is available in the Prim Stitcher Society Facebook group in the files. There's a lot of free patterns there, and they're all primitives. Another finish, I showed you these finishes, my punch needle finishes last week, but they weren't completely finished. They were just, like mounted on anything. So I'm going to show you 2 of the punch needle finishes that are completely finished now. This one is called Bittersweet and Broomsticks, and these are both from Brenda Gervais with By Needle and Thread. and they're available on her website, Country Stitches Online. So I showed you last week this, that I was going to put something on, and I put this on it, but we did change it. I changed it up a little bit. I dry brushed it with like a rusty orange paint. It's actually called terracotta. And then I used, I'm trying to get the lighting right in here. There we go. So I used black rickrack and put it around just to kind of frame it. And then I had some pip berries and I just wrapped them around and put a dab of hot glue on the back to attach those, and then put a piece of jute twine in the top. And this is from an antique store. I guess it's a strainer or a hot plate or something. I'm not really sure what it is. But I had spray painted it black first, and then I just dry brushed it with the terracotta paint. And I love how that one turned out. So that is a complete finish. And then the next one is called Halloween at Raven's Hollow. And like I said, these are both Brenda Gervais with thy needle and thread. This tutorial will post tomorrow. Today I'm going to post, I'm confusing myself. Today is Sunday, and I just did the tutorial for the bucket. This floss tube will post on Monday. The tutorial for this basket will post on Tuesday. So you're going to see the same shirt. I'm filming them all one right after another, but I will show you in that tutorial how I painted this basket. And so this is also black rickrack. It's hard to see on the camera, but you can see it better in person. It is black rickrack going around it. This is hot glued to the basket. The flowers are from, a little bit leaning over here. The flowers are from Hobby Lobby. And the rickrack is 1.1 inch, so it's pretty wide. It's a jumbo. And that is from Hobby Lobby also. So that is that finish. I don't know if you hear the thunder, but there's a storm going on outside. So hopefully I don't lose power. So those are my fully finishes for the week. And also 12 of these, even though I only posted 10 because it would only let me post 10. Another thing that I've been working on, I'm getting ready to make some wool proddy flowers. And I'm going to post a picture here of some that I made in the past. And I'm getting ready to make some more. Those were several years ago. And so I took some wool and I over dyed it. So these were already like orange and gold or yellow. And I just put them in coffee with a little bit of dye. And it toned them down. You can see how that's modeled, and that is from the coffee. And the dye that I used is this is too bright. Yeah, it's a fabric dye, and it's Cushing's acid dyes. So these are some of the colors. You see that they're all fall. I'm going to be making sunflowers. And they're very grungy looking in person. And these are all weird shapes because a lot of these are cut up clothes that I had gotten at the thrift store. Like this one. You can see that was clothing. Not as bright orange as what it looks like on the camera. But, I mean, you get the idea. These are all just grungy. So that's what I was doing. Some of them were just like this one was not from clothing. Whoops, hear the thunder. This one is not from clothing, and it's not. Let me see if I put something behind it. There, that shows it better. It's very mottled, but it's not bright like it looks on the camera. So I'm going to be making some of those, and a friend of mine's going to help me. And I probably will be selling some of the flowers, but as you see in the picture that I showed you of the other ones I made, they have a branch as the stem. And if I sell these on Etsy, I will not put a stick in with them. It'll have an opening in the back, and whoever buys the flower can just go outside in their yard and get a stick and put it in there, because it's the size box that it would take, and it would be an odd box, and then this the stick may get broken, and everybody can just go outside unless you live in the middle of a city. there are trees outside and you just go pick up a branch that you like and put it, there'll be a little opening in the back. So that's how those will be. And I'm not sure when I will get those done, but hopefully within the next week. So my next thing that I'm going to be making is this pattern. And this is by Lori Rippey. It's called Pumpkins for Sale, and it's Homespun Peas by Lori is the name of her business. So I have chosen this fabric to use, which is a lot darker than her picture. And this is 28 count. It's prairie cloth, and I have measured it out to be about 28 count. So these are the colors that I have chosen. Her orange on her pumpkins, you can see how light they are, and that would not show up on mine. So that is for the pumpkins. This is for the house. It's Weeks Dye Works clamshell. That's going to be for the house. And then 3781 is the called for color for the brown. And then I don't know if you can see up here, there are leaves, but they almost blend in. They're so pale. So that definitely I couldn't use that color. But this I'm going to use Oscar, which is Weeks Dye Works. And that will show up. Let me hold it over here. So that's going to show up for the leaves. So those are going to be my colors, and that's what I am working on next. I started one last night, but I had cut the fabric too small, and I stitched across this border here at the bottom, and I got it across, and it was just enough. But then I measured up on the fabric, and I didn't have enough. There was just not, I put a pin every 10 because I'm stitching over 2, and I put a pin at every 10, and it would not have made it to the top of the fabric. So I guessed wrong on that one. And yeah, I need to use the stitch calculator next time. But so I just pulled out this big piece. It's not as yellow as what you're seeing. It's very much brown. And so this is the one I'm going to use. So once I get the bottom part done and then measure up again, then I'll cut that fabric. So that is my next project. Speaking of stitch counts, someone had asked me to show how you use a stitch gauge. So this is the one that I have, and I bought it at my LNS, which is Cross Stitch and Crafts in Johnson City, Tennessee. And what I do, this was suggested to me, which makes it very much easier. So when you try to do this, say this is 28 count, and you can see, let me see if that, yeah, so this is 28 right here. You can see how close together they are. It would be really hard, like even with a magnifier light, it's hard for me to follow that. So what was suggested to me is to make a few stitches, and of course it helps if you do it in dark thread. And I'm going to insert a picture here because I did some. And you're going to make a few stitches, and then like on the 28 count, I put it up to the 14, and that I could see they lined up just perfectly. So since I'm stitching over 2, I double the 14, and then I know it's 28 count. And that's how someone suggested at my LNS for me to do it. And it works great for me because if you're trying to count like the Osnaburg, which is what I used on the one that's on the bucket, is Osnaburg. And by the way, on my last floss tube, I said that Osnaburg was a 40 count. It's actually a 32. I measured it again. So if I'm trying to do a 32, those lines are so tiny and close together, I wouldn't be able to do it. But I can go back to the 16, and when I stitch over 2, I can just measure where the threads go in, and then I can see it on the 16, so I just double that. So that is how I use this stitch gauge. This one is actually magnetic, and I think that, I don't know if theirs is magnetic, but I did see them in Hobby Lobby, and they were only like $1 something. And I'm not sure if theirs are magnetic or not, or if that even matters to you. And I think that is it. I have done a cutoff date, a tentative cutoff date for the retreat. If you want it to come to the Campin' and Stitchin' retreat in Waynesville, North Carolina, it is in 1 month, September 25th. And it is, I have put September 10th as the tentative cutoff date. So I do have more spaces. And we are open to 50, and we have about half of that right now. So it's a small group. We'll get to know each other. We'll get to chit chat lots and not just like know 3 or 4 people. And we'll have campfires each night. So it should be a lot of fun. I will put the link below to the information for that for the event page on Facebook. So please come if you want to. It's only $10 a person, and we will have the stitching room all day. And I'm hoping that Sassy Jacks gets opened by then. She is working hard on getting open. So there's 1 more month, Kim. Get her done. So hopefully that is done and we can all go visit there. So I will see you on my next floss tube, and watch tomorrow for the tutorial on the basket if you're interested in that. And then go back and also look at the one for the bucket if you're interested in that. And don't forget, now's a good time to hit that thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. I love my subscribers. I answer every comment, and I hope to see you next time. Bye, everybody.